Hey, thanks for watching the replay. All right. Here we go. We are doing the, I'll wait for a couple of people to hop on. We're going to be doing the Sonax, sorry it's backwards, I want to watch it. If you're on, let me know. It's not showing me anyone's live yet. Maybe I'll have to redo it. Let's see. Anyone there? Okay. So we are going to be doing the install. There we go. All right. So, hey, if you're just jumping on, let me know where you're watching from, if you can hear me okay, and your company name. That'd be cool. So we're going to be doing the install of the Sonax coating. I realize it's backwards, but we're going to be installing it. It's a two-part series, base coat, top coat. If you're just joining, let me know where you're watching from and your company name, and if you can hear me okay. All right, so we're going to be doing the Sonax two-part coating, base coat, top coat. So I've done the whole base coat to the rest of the car, and so this is the last panel that I need to do the base coat to. This is a two-part series, as I said. Interesting thing is that it's a spray coating. So we'll get back to that. It's a spray coating. Comes with two applicators that are named, so number 1 and number 2. Okay, but it only comes with one thing to wrap the applicator in, and it doesn't really fit around the bigger one. So they give you two applicators, but only one of this not felt, but whatever you call this piece of cloth that I really don't like because it jumbles all up in your hand. So two applicators, and again, this is a spray coating. So laying down the first one, so I have an additional applicator that I'm actually using as well. So but what's interesting is that it's a spray, but you don't spray it on the panel, you spray it on the applicator, and so it's kind of awkward. I'm going to be honest. My initial opinion of it is that it's super awkward. So because there's a ton of overspray, so I'm sitting on a seat and the overspray is getting on my legs, on my hands. It comes with the gloves too, which is nice. So I'm going to show you how to install the top coat. So all I'm doing is I do one spray, but you could see the overspray going over the other side of the car, and then you would apply it like you would any other coating. So this car has already been corrected and wiped down, and it feels a little sticky, so I'm gonna put a little bit more on there. This car's already been polished and all the wax and grease removed with the Rust-Oleum wax and grease remover, and then applying the coating. As you can see, so there's that. The thing I really like about this coating is that you really only need one towel. So the directions are to wipe it off 30 seconds to a minute after. So do that, and the wipe off process is really super duper easy. Really like it. Some of these other coatings that I've messed with, you need to have like 3 towels just to make sure it doesn't smear. But this one, it seems like you really only need one towel. And the thing I found really interesting is you could almost sense the anti-staticness of the coating, that property of it, instantly, which is going to tell me later that the water is going to bead and sheet really nicely because there's not going to be a lot of the friction on the paint is going to be pushing everything off it. So that's really cool. So it honestly has to be one of the easiest coatings. Hey Leanne, one of the easiest coatings after you install it to wipe off. Wipes off very nicely. The spray aspect of it is a little funky. I do think that the future of coatings is spray, so that's cool. But just as far as getting the spray onto the applicator, it seems like you have a lot of overspray going everywhere else. I also did try just spraying it on the panel, just like in a spot. That worked good too, but I was a little bit worried about overspray onto the glass and other panels. So I didn't really feel that comfortable spraying it directly onto the panel, and I don't think it's recommended either. So I was spraying it directly on to the applicator. So just be aware that there may be, it's probably not a lot of overspray onto the ground or your shoes or your body, but something to be interested about or think about. This can seems to me like it'll probably do at least 2 to 3 SUVs. So I did this whole entire Jeep. This is a Jeep Cherokee. Did this whole entire one, and I have at least half the bottle left, if not a little more than half. So that's that. It says to wait an hour in between the top coat and base coat. From the base coat to the top coat, to wait an hour in between. So that's why I did the rest of the car first. Wanted to demo this panel specifically, and then that would mean by the time I got back to the other side of the car, probably been about an hour, including doing this video. So so far so good. Again, the things that are kind of different is that it came with 2 applicators, but only one thing that really doesn't. I mean, it kind of fits over the big one, but you could see it be super awkward to hold on the bigger applicator, which is the second for the second application. That would be kind of weird. Can you guys are you guys commenting at all? Can you let me know if you can? I'm not seeing any of the comments, and I kind of think this feed got messed up for some reason. So comment if you can, but I'm not seeing any of the comments come through, so that's okay. I'll go back in after and respond. I wish I could see them, but for some reason I think this feed got messed up. So yeah, so that's kind of awkward. 1 thumbs up. Thanks. Not sure what that means. Cool. There's a comment. So you guys just aren't commenting. You're watching. So I don't like these suede pieces on top of applicators anyway. I prefer the microfiber applicators, but even at that, it doesn't really fit over the second one. My thought behind that is they say that you can use the coating just directly on here, and these bigger applicators actually would work better to spray and get less overspray versus the smaller one that I'm using, because I didn't want to spray the coating directly on here and then apply this directly to the paint. I didn't feel comfortable with that, but I only have one suede thing, so I am just kind of waiting to use it, even though it doesn't really fit. So comes in a really cool box. What else can I say about it? Probably the most impressive thing that I noticed instantly was the anti-static that I was feeling when wiping off the coating. And again, you really only need 1 towel. So that's super cool. Say hi to James for me, Heather. So I'm not too sure if it'll work on rims and glass. Sure it will. The gloss, the instant gloss that you're getting from it is really, really impressive. Again, I like the thought behind the spray because I think spraying is the future of coatings. I wonder why they put it in a spray can versus like a traditional, how every other coating is. I don't know. And I believe this is a 2-year coating. Now, as I look at the box over there, says the force of flexibility. So I'm assuming that it's Michael is watching from the Netherlands. Cool. I'm assuming they're positioning this as a more flexible coating than a lot of the other coatings out on the market. But seems to be really cool. So again, I'm not in love with the applicators, and I'm not really in love with the spray yet. That could be just kind of an installer preference, really, but everything after you have the coating, the product itself on the applicator going onto the car, everything after that is extremely smooth and really, really installer friendly, which is one of the things that I look for in a coating, is to make sure that it's really installer friendly. So I can kind of look past, I'm kind of nitpicking when I'm like, oh, the overspray of the coating, oh, the applicator. That's kind of I'm nitpicking at that a little bit, to be honest. And so I'm actually doing it on a car that I'll see a lot. So longevity, like I said before, I believe it is a 2-year coating. I could be wrong on that. I'll update it below if I'm wrong. But as we know with coatings, longevity has a lot to do with maintenance. So I'm sure it could go a lot longer. as I'm kind of wrapping up with, I just installed it on this. Do you guys have any questions that I may be able to answer? Obviously, it's going to install a lot like every other coating that you're used to installing, with the exception of it's a spray. It's a two-part. You got to wait an hour in between a base coat and top coat. You may want to have your own applicator, even though it does come with applicators. And this is pretty cool though. The applicators are numbered. So number 1 and then number 2, base coat, top coat bigger of an applicator. Not sure why. The box packaging did say that you could use these directly without the suede or whatever this thing is called. Nice little branding on there too. That's cool. Nice box. Everything's inlaid with foam cut around it in the box. That's nice. Packaging's really great. You could probably get a couple, like I said, 2 to 3 SUVs out of this one package as it comes. And do you guys have any questions about it? I could probably, I know it says to wait an hour, but maybe throw a second coat on top while I'm waiting. If you guys have any questions, as you can see, I guess I could just use this. You could see, I'll do it away. I'm actually not doing it towards the car. It looks like I am on the camera, but I'm actually doing it away from the car. It's just, you can get good coverage on that applicator. Front of the box. Well, let me go get the front of the box. Hold on. I'm going to roll over here. This is the front of the box. So I realize it's backwards. I'm sorry. Hopefully it's still readable. So it's a cool box. Back of the box, fairly big, you know. You want to do it just like the other coatings that you install. You want to prep the paint, correct it, prep it, strip it of all the wax. Yeah, and then saying gloss coat, which is interesting. 36, not sure if that has anything to do with the longevity. 12, 24, 36 would be 3 years versus the 2. Let me just try to read the back real quick. It doesn't really say anything about longevity, but longevity is really subjective. So something notable, it says not to wash the car within the first 3 days, and don't polish it, of course, after the coating's installed. And yeah, so that's that. That is the Sonax Profiline coating. Big thanks to Sonax for sending that out. Told them I'd do this video for them. Again, overall, pretty impressed. We'll see longevity wise. Mainly, if I'm gonna nitpick it, has to do with the spray. But that's also, cost, good question. I have no idea. I think AutoGeek has it. So this just came to the US. If you're outside the US, you can get it. I think it's been in Germany like for a while, but it's just coming to the US. So, but it's coming from Germany, obviously. So if you guys have additional questions, post it below, and I will get to it. But I'm gonna get back to putting on the second layer on this car so I can wrap this thing up. And if you have any questions, just keep posting it below, and I'll go back in and answer it. Cool. Thanks, guys.